the economic woes, and President Tinubu saying that there will be no going back on his reforms. We have joining us to discuss further on this Najib Bello. He's a business consultant, multipreneur, to discuss this. Hello, Najib. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
All right, Najib, what is your assessment of the effectiveness of President Tinubu's economic reforms in Nigeria, despite, current challenges, particularly considering the impact on the cost of living and currency devaluation?
It's simply a total calamity. It's a complete failure. I would refer to them as deforms. There's nothing reforming about his economic policies. If really these are policies, by the way, these are just random thoughts that he throws out once in a while, not economic policies. I can't see anything that shows strategy or shows any form of diligence in what they are implementing regarding the economy. From the very first moment he was sworn in as president, he made the very terrible mistake of removing fuel subsidy, which is supposed to be removed eventually. But as a president, you get into office, you take a couple of weeks, study the situation, know that the refineries are not working, know that 40% of our forex use every day is for importation of petroleum products. When you know this, then you can easily formulate a policy on when to remove fuel subsidy, how to remove it, and the way it would gradually be implemented to make sure we don't get into the disaster that we are in today. So it's terrible. Everything is wrong. You can feel it. It's not something I need to come on TV to tell Nigerians that the so-called policies that Tinubu is implementing are dangerous and disastrous to everybody.
All right, Najib. Now, despite the policies being terrible, the president is actually saying that there's no backing down, and we should be patient that these policies or these reforms would actually work. So should the masses continue to suffer, or do you even think that with time, if we're patient enough, the policies would actually take effect in time?
Like I said, these are not policies. These are just random musings of the man, and he just gives them out the way he gave out removed fuel subsidy before even stepping into the office as president. So the thing is, he doesn't listen. And this thing he's saying that he's not going back, he's not backing down, is to show that he doesn't listen. And he's failing in his number one job as the president. The president is not a dictator. The president is presiding over Nigeria. That is why he is called the president. He is not the overlord. He's not the king of Nigeria. So when people tell him that his policies are not working, he should listen and know how to address them, know how to re-engineer them. Right now, Nigeria is paying subsidy through the back door. And he knows this, but he's going to say we are not paying subsidy. So his first policy on the very first day he was sworn in as president was to remove subsidy. And that time we were paying 200 naira per liter of petrol. They were subsidizing for about 300 naira. He removed it and we started paying about 500 and something naira for a liter of petrol. Today we are paying more than 600 naira. And guess what? The government has gone back to be paying subsidy again through the back door. They didn't tell Nigerians that they are now paying subsidy, but they are now paying subsidy of almost 500 naira. So if we remove subsidy, we'll be paying 1,100 naira for a liter of fuel. So what exactly is he saying he's not reversing? He has already reversed. Now there are people who are getting dollars. I heard the customs rate for dollar was about 1,006 something. Why do we have a separate rate for customs? Why do we have a separate rate for people who are going for Hajj? You are going for Hajj, if you pay 5 million naira or so, government will subsidize some dollars for you to go and do religious tourism in a rich country like Saudi Arabia. When we are suffering here, they are going to take 200 and almost 300 billion naira. They are going to subsidize forex for people who are going for Hajj in Saudi Arabia. 250 billion to 300 billion naira is what they want to use to buy forex to send people to Hajj in June. And they are wondering, they are pretending that they don't know why the dollar, the pound, the dirham is going as high as 2,000 naira. Everything is a disaster right now, and it's primarily the government. Look at the opulence that they are showing. They are telling Nigerians, be patient, things will be all right, and someone is spending billions of naira flying around an entourage of thousands of people. How do you tell the person who has not eaten for 2 days that they should be patient for a couple of months more? How do you tell the people that their children are out of school? Remember, he removed subsidy on education. A lot of school fees were not just doubled or tripled. Some became 10 times. Some students are now paying 10 times what they were paying before Tinubu got into office. So everything is a disaster, and that is because he does not consult. We need to liberalize the forex market. We need to remove subsidy or phase it out. We need to remove subsidy from electricity or whatever. But there is a procedure. You don't just jump up one day and say, we have done this. And if you are not transparent with Nigerians by letting them know from the first day you decided to start repaying subsidy, he never told Nigerians that, this thing is becoming a problem. We have to start paying subsidy again. Then tomorrow, when he now tells us, they need to remove subsidy and take the price of petrol to 1,100, how do you want Nigerians to be patient?
All right, Najib, now there's actually, mounting criticisms and also, so much pressure on the government right now. And we're beginning to see pockets of protest here and there in some states in Nigeria. Now, due to that, the Senate president actually came out a few days ago to say that the government actually released 30 billion naira to state governors to help with the food crisis. Meanwhile, the governors have actually been quiet. Only the Seyi Makinde actually came out to say that, it's an unverified information. Would actually love to hear your thoughts around this.
Okay. First and foremost, let's start from that 30 billion naira. 30 billion naira to fight the food crisis in Nigeria per state. 30 billion naira per state. So in Lagos State, the Lagos government, I've checked this, so it's not something that is debatable. The Lagos State government has estimated the Lagos population at 30 million people, 30.6 million people actually in Lagos State. So let's just say 30 million. If federal government is giving Lagos State 30 billion naira for hunger intervention or food intervention or agricultural intervention, that is 1,000 naira per person, perhaps for the month of February. So 1,000 naira for each Lagosian. What kind of intervention? How do we feed with that? How does that help our feeding? I just bought bread now, 2 loaves of bread for 3,000 naira. That is the price of a loaf of bread, 1,005. So if federal government is giving Lagos State 30 billion naira for its 30 million population to help them with the food crisis, they are going to give everybody like half a loaf of bread or what exactly? So one of the problems we have in Nigeria is that we do not really, like they said, when President Tinubu was contesting, he said, now statistics we go chop. And when you don't know statistics, you don't know that 30 billion naira cannot do anything to solve hunger in Nigeria. You have to first know that there are 30 million people in Lagos State. Okay, how many of them can feed? How many of them cannot feed? How many are employed? How many are self-employed, unemployed? Okay, these are the people. We need how many trillion? Where do we get this money from? Not just you just sit down and you share 30 billion each to every state and you expect that there'll be a solution to the problems that are going on. So it's a thing that the government does not even know. The federal government has hired a lot of incompetent people that don't tell them what they need to do right. And that's where our problem today originates from insecurity. I know farmers who have left their farms cannot go to farm. 1, because of insecurity. 2, input into their farms have gotten so high. Poultries have shut down, eggs have gone almost to 200 naira now, So you are not solving insecurity. When it comes to exchange rate, they know where it started. It started from government subsidizing dollars or trying to control the forex market. And they were using dollars from selling oil. oil theft came and eroded most of the revenue. If you put security in place, if you check oil theft, then you'll be able to get enough dollars to do whatever you want to do. There will be no high demand that you don't have enough supply from. So you have insecurity, you have all of these things, and they are dealing with their EFCC is going to shoot malams on the street.
Well, thank you so much, Najib Bello, for joining me and speaking in-depthly on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much.